Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're gonna be checking out a video from Walter's World, and the reason I'm checking out this video is because I want to see how accurate his description is gonna be. So the title of the video is 10 Ways to Spot an American Abroad, right? And I honestly believe there are definitely ways to spot an American easily, but at the same time, not every American does this particular thing, you know? So without further ado, let's get on to this video. Thank you for watching, and if you have any recommendations, click that link in the pinned comment section, recommend videos. I'll check them out as soon as possible. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on to this video, guys.
Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Walter's World, and I am an American. Though I'm gonna guess you probably already figured that out. And today's video is basically the things that give you away as an American tourist when you travel in Europe. And the thing is, I want to start with this one, and it's usually that you hear us before we get there. Look, Americans are loud. Now, we're not trying to be loud. We're just loud and boisterous people. We love life. We want to talk and share and just be loud. That's what Americans are. And when you go around and you travel, you hear us first. Now, we're not the only loud country out there. I'm talking to you, Spain. I'm talking to you, Italy. I know you're loud as well. But that's one of those things. People hear us coming before we're there. And here's another thing. They also see a part of us before they see all of us. Like when I walk into a room, usually it's my tummy that comes in first. Yes.
Come on now, you're just doing stereotypes at this point, man. Come on, man. Look at me, man. Come on, man. It is what it is.
We Americans tend to be a bit on the husky side. Hey, but don't worry, Europeans are getting fatter too, so they're catching up little by little. Haha! No, but honestly, usually Americans, you know, we are a bit huskier. We're a bit bigger boned, let's say, a bit tummier, right? And so that's another way that people say, oh, Americans are there. They got the big old booties, right? So there is that. Now, another thing that I think maybe relates to that is the clothing we wear.
Yeah, clothing is definitely...
American style and European style are very different. And the thing is, when you go around Europe, there's very much different styles. Like I'm here in Stockholm, and you'd think they never saw any bright colors. Everything is like a beige or a gray or a black or a white. Like, it's very solid colors kind of stuff, but not flashy colors. But I think there's kind of three things in terms of clothing that give us away. One, baseball caps. Now, I know when I talk about baseball caps, I get these people from the UK and the Netherlands. We wear baseball caps all the time. I'm like, no, you wear New York Yankees hats. If it's New York Yankees baseball cap, that could be a European. But Americans, we wear baseball caps all the time. Like, I have friends I've known for 20 years.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, this is not something that should be generalized, right? You got to take it with a little bit of grain of salt if that's the statement. Because a lot of people don't actually wear baseball hats or caps or however you want to say. A lot of people don't do it, but you will find people doing it. Personally, for me, I don't wear it necessarily, but sometimes I do. So it's an on and off situation. I don't think that is very descriptive. And being here in Finland, I've seen many people with the same damn thing. So I don't really think that's the most... I don't know. I think probably only thing that I agree on this list that is almost guaranteed to give you that knowledge is just the American talking. Simple as that.
I have never seen them without a baseball cap on. No joke. When I see them, they take it off. I'm like, oh my God, you're not bald? I thought you wore a hat because you were bald. I had no idea.
That's a true
Americans
statement.
love their baseball caps. And when it's spun backwards, 100% American. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know some younger people in Europe are...
Yeah, I love to wear it backwards as well. But no, the fact is that is seen in Finland. Like, I see people in Finland doing that, and I guess it's a cool thing to do. I don't know, and I've seen people doing it as well. But it's mostly, you know, younger folks.
People doing exercise do use caps, baseball
Viking
caps in Europe, but it's nowhere near the numbers like in the U.S. So all those are going to comment that we wear them all the time in Europe. Not like in the U.S. Not like in the U.S. But that's one of the things, like being baseball cap. Another kind of clothing choice I see is athleisure. Now, you'll see in Europe, people do wear... you know, gym clothes and athleisure clothes, but that's because they're going to the gym or coming back from the gym. Whereas Americans, we sometimes wear the athleisure clothes.
That's a daily. Right now as we speak, I got my shorts on, I got my leggings on because I'm ready to hoop. Right now, it's overcast outside. We ready to hoop. Like, it's just simple as that, you know. And I got the tank top on, the wife beater, whatever you want to call it. I got it under this. We ready to hoop right now. We just take that off. We ready to hoop. So yeah, athletic wear is, yeah, that's an easy way to spot an American. Very, very easy. Especially if you see a guy with leggings on, he's almost guaranteed an American, almost guaranteed. I've never ever seen anyone outside of the United States wear leggings on like a daily basis. I've never seen it before. It's just not something you'd find. But because we play basketball and so many, you know, sport related guys wear leggings, we are like always prepared and ready to play basketball or some type of sport. So dressed accordingly, I guess. I don't know. But the whole situation with the leggings situation and sport attire, I've seen that tremendously increasing in Finland. When I'm in Finland, I've said it before, it feels like a mini America to me, but that's up for debate.
As our actual clothes, like these are our pants, these are our shirts. And that is one of those things you kind of see different. And then another one that gives it away is actually shoes. Now you think with how everybody loves shoes around the world that we all have the same kind of shoes. No, you get a little different kinds of shoes when you travel and how people wear them and where they wear them and how they don't want to crease them. I think the don't crease thing is pretty international, but I have students when I take them around the world, they literally go to look at the shoe stores here to get different types of shoes because there is a difference.
Nothing. Yeah, nothing. You can't find American shoes in Europe, in my humble opinion. I don't know what's the deal, but the shoe style is totally different. I can tell you that for a fact. Most of the shoes that I wear are basketball related shoes. And I've not once walked into a store in Finland, and I can promise you I can walk in most European stores and I would not find the ideal basketball shoes that I would get. It's usually some off-brand, lower branded basketball shoes. Like it's just not there. It's really not there. It's actually totally different. The shoe style is totally different actually.
Continuing on with the kind of clothing giving it away, it's not just the clothing styles and the things we're wearing, but it's also the sizing of the clothes. Now, the fit of the clothes, which kind of goes into the number 2 I talked about our tummies coming in. You'll notice Americans tend to wear more baggier clothes, less fitting clothes. That's why when you come here and you want to buy your wardrobe, you're like, why is it so tight in the arms? Why is it always this slim fit butt thing? Like, do they have no butts in Europe? Not really, but you notice that Americans didn't have baggier clothes. We just have a baggier fit on our stuff, and that kind of gives us away. Now, next I have a low-key way.
I don't really agree with that necessarily. I don't really agree with that necessarily. If we're talking about shirts, then I can agree with that, but outside of that, I don't really agree with that. Like, on an average day, I'm wearing normal roomed clothing, not some skin tight pants or stuff like that. And the hoodie, it's like a basic commodity, I guess. It's a little bit, it's roomy, but it's still fitted, you know. So I wouldn't agree with that statement. No.
No, it's kind of like the counting thing in Inglourious Basterds, because Germans say 3 like this and Americans say 3 like this. Well, this one is utensil usage. How do you hold your fork and knife? In America, you have your fork and knife and you cut with your knife and then you switch your fork to the other hand and then you have your fork and then you pick it up and take a bite, then you switch it back to cut. A lot of places in Europe, you have the fork and knife, you cut and eat and you just kind of like shovel the food in that way without switching the hands. So that's one of those little, like, if you want to be a little espionage, see.
It's proper ethic, actually. It's proper ethic, but I'm not using a knife and fork unless I'm in certain places. I'm just not gonna, like, the thing is, I'm a free spirit human. Like, to use a knife and fork is more of respect to me rather than a necessity, you know. Though provided a knife and a fork, I don't think I need to use it if I don't need to use it. So I guess that's maybe the American mentality. You cut something, you put it away, you don't really need it like that. I really don't know. But personally for me, I'm not gonna really use a knife and fork unless I'm in a specific area where, you know, you gotta be respectful and, you know, embrace the traditions or some shit. I don't know.
A kind of thing. That'll give it away. Now I have a couple annoying habits that Americans have that kind of give us away. One, we really love our phones. Like, people in Europe use their phones all the time, but I notice with American travelers, we are much more attached to our phones. It's like, I sleep next to you, you're my little sweetheart, I love you so much, don't let anything happen to you. Like, we love our phones. But where I really see it is when people are eating dinner or lunch or at breakfast at the hotel, you'll see the Americans will be on their phones all the time. When they're going around, they're on their phones. And then
that one just hit me. He said when you at the hotel, you see the Americans on their phone and the Europeans not. That actually just hit me, because that's literally what I would do. That's actually what I would do. Like, I was just at a hotel. I don't remember how long ago I was at the hotel and I was on my phone. That's facts. I was.
Thing is, Europeans, they get on their phones too, but not at the same extent as you see Americans. So that's one of those things you notice. Also, if everybody has an iPhone, good chance it's Americans, because in Europe, they don't just got iPhones. They get a little bit of something else. Now, the other kind of annoying giveaway for Americans is the complaining.
The history of iPhones, that's just me showing you. Plus, I have my older iPhone as well. Yeah, I have the iPhone 7, iPhone 11, iPhone 15, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, so when one iPhone dies, another one comes and another one comes. So yeah, the iPhone thing is actually really a key giveaway, actually. If they're Apple fanatic obsessed, it's likely an American. The good chance. But he ain't got no iPhone. That's not an iPhone that you got. You got a Samsung. That should look like Samsung to me.
Americans complain that they didn't get what they want, or things aren't just like it's at home, or why can't I pay in dollars? The kind of whiny complaining is, that's one of those kind of giveaways. You know, whether it's the, oh, I can't believe the line we have to do at the Eiffel Tower, or, oh, are the Germans always like this? Why won't they come take my order? Like, the little kind of complaininess, I mean, all tourists complain to their extent, but Americans tend to be more vocal with it because we're just more vocal people. And I think that's another...
That's true. And in reality, I don't know if he will touch on this, but the reality is I don't really think Americans are trying to be rude. I think it's the environment. When you're in the United States, it's like, okay, I can voice my opinion, free speech, whatever. We are in a store and somebody's taking forever. We like, yo, chop it up. Let's go. I got places to be. Move. Right? And we express ourselves. However, in Europe, I don't really think Europeans really express themselves, you know, very much compared to Americans. And I think Europeans are probably a lot more, you know, chill. Like, it's just more like, oh, life is good. And Americans are like, just chop it up, get out of the way, move fast, whatever. I think that's the deal. And it's actually very evident when you see an American complaining compared to a European complaining.
I think I should say in terms of a difference is we just are like more voracious, we're more talkative, we're more out there, but also we're more oversharing. Americans, you meet us, we'll start talking to you, be like, oh, how was your day, sir? It was fantastic, but then I got a bunion on my foot, but this is so great. My grandpa was from Sweden and he told me about the motherland. It's so good to be back. And then, do you think my beard's coming in okay? Like, Americans will just share. They'll be like, oh, and then Nancy down the street, you know, she fell and broke her hip. And your waiter's like, did you want dessert? And that's just one of the things. It's one of the sweet things about Americans where you notice them. They just overshare on things. And they don't do it in a bad way, just how they are. And as sweet as we are, we do have one kind of mistake that gives us away. And that is the not even trying to speak the foreign language. Like, I'm here in Sweden, so I at least know tack, which is thank you. A lot of Americans just start right off in English, and it kind of puts us in a bad light because other tourists do that too from other countries, and they just assume that it's an ugly American, but it's just people that actually only know English as their only other language. But yeah, that just not trying to speak a language kind of gives us a bad look. And then there's also the Swedish chef. Yes, Americans trying out the accent, or the accent they think that people should have or have in the country they're visiting. Like, you come to Sweden, you can't help it. you like envision the Swedish chef. And so you want to go, you flirty, flirty, you flirty, 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 flirty. You want to do that. Like, they're like, oh,
nah. You got to be childish if you're doing that. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not like, I think it's very, very disrespectful to try to act a certain way if that's not who you are, just because you're in that place. Like, if I go to Germany, like, if I'm gonna say a word in Germany, I'm gonna say that word, you know, with my chest. I'm gonna say it the right way, how I think the Germans would say it. But I'm not gonna go off some TV show that I didn't see and then be like, oh, like, no, that's really childish and disrespectful. I just could never see myself doing that. That is really bad. But, you know, just trying the pronunciation, butchering it or something like that, I think that's totally fine because you're trying, but you're not mocking. I think all this, you know, things on TV, that's just straight up mockery. Like, nah, can't do it.
Right away. Or, yes, we are going to speak the Queen's English today. Yes, could I have a spot of tea, a cuppa? Like the overdoing the silly accent kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You hear that, you're like, American. It's not a bad thing. It's just one of those things you're like,
yeah, I know I've done it with the British before. Yeah, I do it with them. But the thing is, I have family ties to the UK, so I do it because I want to make fun of them. You know, it's like that, but it's all love. But outside of that, if it ain't no humor to it, like, you know these people, please don't do it.
Yeah, they do that sometimes.
Sweden?
But all in all, there's nothing wrong with being an American traveling the world. We get found, we get noticed. But you know what? We have a video on how to spot Europeans when they come to the US. Yeah, those socks and sandals kind of give it away, my friends. And the lack of tipping, but I'll go to that in the other video. But what are ways that you can tell?
Plenty of Americans ain't trying to tip, so yeah, whatever. Anyways, yeah, beautiful video. I agree with majority of the things that he actually listed. The beginning of the video was a little bit more on the generalization side, like the baseball hat and shit like that. Yeah, no, not really. But as we got further down in the video, definitely a lot more accurate description of, you know, how to identify Americans. And he never even spoke about body language. And I think body language is like some of the easiest ways to identify Americans. Like, I don't know, it's like the confident, the persona. Like, I was in Helsinki once upon a time and I was at a zoo and there was this guy and then he had his family there. And then I was there and I think I had American shorts on. I don't remember. But the whole point was like the body posture, the way how he was moving, I could say, yeah, he moving like me. What's going on? And then when I looked over at him, he went like this. And I was like, oh, you American. So I did my head nod too. Because I was like, since I've been in Finland, ain't nobody give me no damn head shake. And when I'm talking about ain't nobody, I'm talking about like darker skinned people, because in the United States you'll greet people, random people in the streets, blah 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 blah, you don't have to know anybody. But what I've noticed since being in Europe is that, good lord, like I was walking to the store like about 2-3 days ago and I kind of felt hurt. There was this one darker guy, and I'm talking about, we're living in Lapland, Sodonkula, no darker skinned people. I'm the only one, you know what I'm saying? King shit, you know what I'm saying? And dude, I saw a darker dude and I looked his way and dude was like, he looked a different way. I was like, yo, what the hell? What's going on? You know, so things like that are easily body language that I can tell you are not from the United States, because if you do not actually acknowledge me, that says a lot. It says a lot, because the average American will acknowledge someone who looks at them and be like, or some sort of head gesture, depending on, you know, whatever. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I'm out of here. Too much talking. Peace.